Capri is from New Jersey, and one accident at her job caused her to become addicted to pain pills. This led her down a path of crime that ultimately led her to having multiple arrests. And she found herself in a county jail 8 months pregnant and became in labor. And for 8 hours, she did not get medical attention. This is her story. What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Saving Souls. Today, I got Capri on here. I appreciate the fact that you are here to tell your story today.
Hello, everybody. My name is Capri Baylor. Thank you for having me. Thank you for responding back to me. And yeah, I'm ready.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you for even reaching out. So, just for context purposes, just tell us where you're originally from and how was your upbringing, just a little bit, so we can know a little bit about you.
Okay. I'm from Trenton, New Jersey. My upbringing, I was raised in a two-family household. My mom and my dad up until I was 11 years old. I was like one of them spoiled kids, like your mom have a baby that you like she dream of. I was that kid, the girl. So when she had me, I was just like super spoiled up until like I could remember. But my mom and my dad had like few ups and downs and regular family, things. But they eventually split, and I stayed with my mom for some time, and then I stayed with my dad. In the process of everything, let me going to school and just like, adjusting to my new life that my parents are not together. Things start getting a little bit rougher. And I thought that it was more so me having to fend for myself
Okay.
and like being, thinking I'm grown, moving faster because I'm really taking care of myself because at this time now I'm staying with my dad. And you start being curious and you meet people. But long story short, short story long, I end up having a baby at 16 years old.
Okay. Hold on, before we get there, so were you the only child?
No, I have an older sibling and on my mom's side, and then I have two younger siblings on her side, and then
Okay.
my father's side, I'm the baby.
All right. So you said everything was good up until about 11 years old. So that's around 11 years old. That's when the split from your parents came.
Yeah.
And how did that affect you? Let's say emotionally, even at 11 years old, of how you looking at it at your parents split. Y'all had
Mm.
this good family dynamic up until this point, but how did that affect you?
I don't think it affect me. It wasn't affecting me. At least I didn't notice at the time. Cause even though my mom and my dad split, my mom and my dad still maintain our lifestyle in the sense of like I still see my dad, I still was with my mom, still spend time at my grandma's house and stuff like that. So I think it affect kids more. Separation anxiety come in when they're being like treated differently when something like that occurs.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
That sometimes if your parents split, that you start getting treated one way on the other side of your siblings getting treated differently. I think that could definitely play a part in that. So you say they
Yeah.
split and you start hanging out with different people. So you are saying at this point in time you start indulging in the streets in some aspects of it.
Mm-hmm. You want to know another thing too? I don't want to leave this out. My
Yeah.
mom fiddled a little with like drugs. She was a functional addict.
Okay.
I lost my mom too a couple years ago. That's a whole nother story to get into, but she was a functional addict. We didn't even know like that's her lifestyle that she was into, dibbling, dabbling or whatever. But I guess after a while with like addiction, trying to juggle addiction and parenting and stuff, sometimes you feel like you're doing what's best in a situation when it comes to your kids. Like my mom felt like it was best for me to go live with my dad. My grandmom had passed away at like a certain point, and my it was just me and my dad. Even though I had other siblings, my mom felt like it was appropriate for me to go live with him, for him to get housing and different stuff like it would help
Yeah.
him. So the long story short of this is that my dad was still young and trying to figure out his shit too. So I started raising myself,
Right.
basically. Everybody started doing their own thing, and that's how it happened.
Yeah, and I can relate in the aspect of when you lack the parental guidance at a young age, you start dabbling in the streets, and
Hmm.
that could lead to a lot of other things that you are not anticipating and doing at a young age. So you
Yeah.
said at 16, this is when you first get pregnant with your first baby. So walk us through that right there.
Okay. All right. So I got pregnant at 16 years old. Well, I'm gonna back it up a little bit. As I was living with my dad at the age of like 12, 13 years old, by the time I got like 14, I started working and stuff, going back and forth. I ended up meeting my son dad through
Okay.
the process of me going back and forth to my little job and stuff. And we start kicking it and have a young relationship and stuff. And when you young, you start experiencing with things, and sex is a part of this journey. And I ended up getting pregnant. My dad was totally against it. He was like, "You want to sign yourself up for some disaster that you don't even really know what you heading for. Being a parent is not something that you could really like jump in and out of. And when you young, you ain't really thinking like what your parents is saying is 100. You just like, come on, like, get
Yeah.
off my back with that shit. But it was basically he was telling me what was real. You understand? Like, what you doing, you don't need to be doing it. You moving like a full-fledged adult, and you really a child. You don't even know what you signing yourself up for. And in my mind, I'm like, yo, I'm basically raising myself. You're not really doing too much for me. And at the time, my then boyfriend, my son dad, he was like, it was like when I ran into him, it was like almost if I ran into like a dream nigga, excuse my language. It was like, oh my God, like he was there for me. I didn't want a need for anything. We was so young, and he was taking care of me at a young age, like almost like that father love type of thing. So
Okay.
when you kicking it with somebody, you bonding, you fuck with them, excuse my language again, but you be around them.
Yeah.
So that's how it was. We bonding and stuff, being around. I ended up getting pregnant, but my dad, he was totally against it, and I ended up having my son at 17. I did graduate from school
Okay.
and at the right time, and I didn't stop because my son dad, he was like really on his like toes. He was helping me through everything, like staying right there. I had the baby. I didn't want any for nothing. The baby didn't want any for nothing. My son turned 2.5 and his dad got killed.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
got murdered.
that's
Fuck
yeah.
my
That's
whole
that.
life up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that lead me into that. I don't know if that's the cause of it, but what point of your life that led you into your first arrest?
My first arrest, um, all right, so my son dad got killed. It's like a whole cycle. So my son dad got killed when I was 19. I ended up working at a state facility which was dealing with people that was incompetent to stand trial. So like after a year and a half of him of his death, I ended up starting to get back into like working and stuff because at first I was like really depressed about it. So I jumped back into working. And this place that I was working at was working with people that was incompetent to stand trial, which meaning that they like have behaviors and they cut up and stuff like that. I ended up getting injured at work and I got put out on pain management. When I got put out on pain management, this was around the time when Percocets had started like hitting the streets. I ended up getting involved in that Percocet wave where I didn't know that I was going to end up attaining the addiction. So
Yeah.
now I'm taking them as prescribed. I'm taking them. Now they trying to wing me off of them the whole time. Now I'm addicted to the opiates. So now I'm buying them off the streets and stuff like that. Long story short, short story long, I end up falling asleep at work high off of the medication. I got terminated there. And I'm used to a certain lifestyle, my kids. So I started going the route of like shoplifting, being in the stores. So now I'm going in the stores, getting a lot of merchandise and stuff to the point where it's not like a little bit, whereas municipal charges is now superior considered because of the dollar amount. Yeah. So from me having that addiction and just me running and running and running, I started accumulating charges, getting arrested and stuff like that.
So the addiction to feed it, what was leading you to basically do the shoplifting, and being that you kept getting caught shoplifting, this is what just led to multiple arrests at times for you.
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't even like I kept getting caught. It was like, but when I got caught,
Yeah.
it was my ass.
So what was it like the very first time that you got caught? And did you go to the county, or did you just get RO'd, or did you have to do some time in the county?
My first time getting caught, I really don't remember exactly how it go, but I think it was like I bailed out because this was before bail reform had started.
Okay.
So we were still able to have bells with the bells bonds, man. I bailed out, and then I think I was out on bail for probably like a couple months, caught another charge. Then I think I bailed out from that. So I had like two bails open. And then I started going to court. Then I was in another state, caught a charge out there. So now I'm like going to court, going to court, I'm going to court in both states.
Right.
So now when I finally like get to a point where I could plead out to probation, and then they was in communication with both states, they let me plead out to probation. So you know when you on probation, you have to stay charge free.
Yes. And I'm assuming that you did.
No, I was tearing them stores up. I was tearing their ass up.
So the
When I
probation
say
didn't
like,
stop you. The probation didn't stop you. You just
no,
kept going.
it was how can I stop? Plus, I don't forget I got now I'm on this perk habit. So now I'm just like running, 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 running. It's like can't stop, won't stop. Like stop the hustle. How? Is no way.
I
I
get it.
have to keep going.
So at what point that you catch enough charges where you actually got to sit down and sit in the county jail?
All right. So the first time. So I told you I got to the point where I was copping out to probation and stuff. So now I'm on probation. I catch
Okay.
another charge. So now I catch another charge. I'm fighting, 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 fighting for this charge. Before they violated, before they violated me, they was basically saying like they wanted to know what was going on with the charge or whatever.
Okay.
Um, so I think in the process of that, of me waiting, I end up getting into something else. So I'm fighting, fighting, fighting. And I think the last time I had got into some trouble with the first time I had copped out with probation, my probation officer in Pennsylvania had put a sticker on me, a violation of probation. So my first charge of me ever catching a VOP, she put a stamp on me. So I had to stay there. It was supposed to be for, I think, 90 days or something. My 90 days turned into 9 months. My first time me going to jail. So now I'm in there, and this is why it stretched so
I'm about to
long.
ask you, why did it turn into 9 months? And before you
Guess
even get
what?
that, for people who don't know, the sticker mean that she had a warrant. So this is why she had to go to the county jail. So
Yeah.
why did you turn something so simple? Because I asked this because even though it was from 90 days to 9 months, me being in prison where I was at, it was, I know somebody that originally only got sentenced to 4 years. And
Mm-hmm.
because he started acting crazy while he was in there, he ended up doing 40 years, right?
Wow.
And yours wasn't to that extent. But I'm just saying
Right.
that to say that, when we get in them type of situations, it could lead to something further by making
Mm-hmm.
poor choices. So what
Yeah.
led you to doing an extra 6 months basically off of
All
something
right.
that you only did supposed to do 3 months?
So honestly, it wasn't even my fault. It's just listen, let me tell you something, and I'm gonna put God in the mix of this too, because
Absolutely.
when God wants your attention, he make you repeat certain situations.
I
Now
agree.
listen to this. So now I'm in jail. I get a VOP. So now my mom is alive at this time. She's calling her around to my probation officer in both states asking like why do I have a detainer and who put the detainer on me, because New Jersey said that they didn't have one on me, so Pennsylvania said that they did, that they wanted to see me being though I had caught this new case. So now as I'm in there and I'm waiting for court, because before you could go to another state, you have to finish where you at first. So being though I was in New Jersey already, I couldn't go answer to Pennsylvania until I finished with New Jersey. So with the judge seeing me. So I'm waiting in there for the judge to see me. And the whole time he's going through a conflict of getting off the bench. So they was like, I guess, putting him from criminal court to family court. So every time we went to court, and that was everybody in the jail who was under this judge case, they kept
Okay.
rescheduling us. So now we done got rescheduled 9 months out because it's still nothing nobody could do. Even if they wanted to lift the VOP, they couldn't. I had to see the judge. So in order for me to see the judge, we had to wait, keep waiting. They kept pushing us out. But in the process of us being there, I got into so much shit. When I say they didn't ship me to 3 different jails just by in there like cutting up, fighting. So now they shipping me out, shipping me here, shipping me there. It was like I went on a jail tour.
Now, did they give you any extra additional charges because you was catching them fights? Because I know some counties do. Some
Yeah,
counties will
some
give you
counties do.
extra charges, and some don't. They just put you on lockup for a period of time until you serve that. Then you go back into population.
Okay, so being though I was in Mercer County, I guess they got like a thing where they in connection where you could swap inmates. So when I was in my county showing out, it was like a bunch of us. They swapped us out. They didn't charge us where we had like street charges or anything, and we have to go to like, outside court where we it's possibility that we can get other charges. It wasn't like that. It was just they traded us out with other inmates. So when I was cutting up there, they took me and shipped me out and put me in Hudson County. I got into something in Hudson County. They put me in lock for like 32 days. Once they put me in third, and after I got done my lock in Hudson County for 32 days, they called my county and shipped us right back out. When they shipped us out there, they put me in Camden County.
Yeah, nah, that
It's
yeah, yeah,
crazy.
it's a little tour. Like I didn't heard of people doing
Word.
that. When I was in the county, I was only in one county the whole time till I went to prison. All right,
Wow.
so you go through that process. Yeah, you get into the fights, but the main reason is that it got pushed back because you was waiting for the judge, right? So
Yeah.
now everything goes how it's supposed to go. 9 months later, you walk out of the county jail. What did you go into? Like, did you start trying to change your life in that aspect, or did you get right back into what you was into?
To be honest with you, after 9 months, I came home and I thought I was like ready to change my life. So
Uh,
I was 9 months clean off of Percocets and everything. The first day home, I was like, damn, what I'm gonna do, like what's next? I guess maybe into like a week and a half of me being home, I ended up relapsing. I started back popping the pills and I went right back into the stores
but
and
let me
then
ask you why though.
um
Was there things happening around in your life that it made you relapse back into doing
You
the
know
perks and
what?
stuff?
Some people be trying to use that as a story, like everything around me is why I'm on drugs. But no, the real reason is you on drugs because you want to. Like you got exposed to it, you experienced the feeling and you liked it. So to be honest with you, I was exposed to it, I experienced the feeling, and I liked it. So it was something that I was familiar with, and it was the feeling of me being high off the Percocets. So like a week later, after I'm thinking that I could fight it because I was taking them for so long that it was a part of my norm. I was taking them morning, afternoon, and night. So when I thought that I was good, but a week later, my peoples that I was around, and this true company you keep too, is a big thing.
That's a big
So
thing.
people would pull you down quicker than they could help you up. So the person that I was around, she ended up going to get like 3, I think. And I'm like, yeah, just give me one, seeing if I could do it. Just take one here and there. One led to 1,000 more.
All right. So from that point, now you back into everything that led you to jail the first time. So
Where
What led you to jail the second time? And this is interesting because you told me what happened the second time you went to jail.
Yeah. So
So yeah,
listen. So that was the first time. So the first time definitely led to the second. So now I'm back out there doing my thing. I'm on probation. After I got out, I'm still on probation. They restarted my time. One thing about Pennsylvania, if you get into trouble, you could be one day about to max out of your time. If you get in trouble, they'll restart you. So they able to do that. That's just how they
wait, let me ask
is.
you this question. Let me ask you a question. You said restart you. So if you are
It
sentenced to, let's just say 3 years probation, and you get through 18 months and you catch a charge, that 18 months don't count anymore?
well, they snap. They call it taking your street time.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
That
that's
is
how you. Why you think Meek Mills was crying so
yeah,
much about like
that
how
is
they was
crazy.
doing him? They was dogging him from a charge from he was a young boy up
Yeah,
into him being an adult because they can snatch your street time. They don't play like that. If you don't
yeah,
walk that paperwork off like they told you, they would come get you. So
yeah.
long story short with that, so I came home. I end up still messing up out there back and forth catching more charges and on probation. So now Pennsylvania being no in the process of everything of me coming home, my kid's dad, I end up having a daughter after I had my son like 3 years later. So
Okay,
now I have a new kid's dad, a baby dad. So now he's in and out of jail too. And his time he comes home. So he come home, we end up having getting pregnant again. So now I'm running, ripping, running back and forth, and I still have this addiction. He's not even knowing that I'm like popping these pills and stuff like that. And I'm pregnant too now at this time. So now I'm running addiction and I'm pregnant. So I end up catching another charge, getting caught up, doing the order. I go to jail for that. I go to my county jail. While I'm in my county jail, the Pennsylvania court said that being though I was okay, so I was pregnant. When I was pregnant, I signed myself up for like a program, like an
okay,
outpatient program. More, it's like a Catholic charities. More, is a drug program, drug
okay.
rehabilitation. So I knew that I was already getting into these charges and stuff and running in. I knew I had to have something like backing me up because I knew I was pregnant too. So the drug program wouldn't put me into like an inpatient program because I was considered a liability. So they was basically saying in order for me to wean myself off of it, I would either have to take like morphine or I'm basically narrowing down my dosage of being on a Percocet. So now I runs into a situation where I catch another charge being in the store. So
Okay.
now I tell him that I'm pregnant, the lawyer tell him that I'm pregnant, and then I have this program backing me up too. So the judge in Pennsylvania was like, you know what? We are for rehabilitation. We see you got all these resources behind you, as a support system. We're going to let you stay out and see, into the process of you getting done back and forth to court. We're not going to keep you detained until we find out what's going on with your other charge, that the new
Okay.
recent one that you caught. So I'm like, okay, whew. When you run it and you like really out there, you kind of got like a mind of manipulation too. So I'm thinking that I'm manipulating the courts by
Hmm.
just, having all this stuff going on and support and knowing that I'm not done. I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is covering me up. Like I'm good, buying me some time. So now they let me stay and I still in the process. I still got the addiction and I'm still retailing, even though I'm making it to the courts like I'm trying to, change or whatever, whatever. How about I was out doing so good for like, I don't think I got caught for like 8 months. 8 months. The eighth month I went into the store. I was, or mind you, I'm in and out of the stores throughout my pregnancy, but I was good for all this time up until 8 months. I went in the store and got caught. They locked my ass up. I had a warrant and everything else. And guess what? Guess what?
Now you back in jail pregnant.
And guess what?
You had the baby while you was in jail.
Why the fuck I go in labor in jail in
Yeah. So
medical.
and that's another thing I want to ask you, because you hear about so many women that go to jail, prison, they pregnant in different
Yeah.
parts of being pregnant. Like, what was that like, being in the cell and you pregnant? Because it's a different, I believe it's different from your daily routine of how you're going to go about feeding yourself, your baby, and all this other stuff while you're pregnant versus how you would be if you was on the street. So, like, what was
Right.
that like for you being pregnant? What, like, was it weighing you down? Did it mess with you emotionally?
Okay, so now look. So mind you, I told you they let me out to fight that charge to see how it was going to turn out. I ended up catching another charge, go in there and go into labor. I was not even in the jail for 24 hours. That's why I say God is God real, he deep. I was not in the jail for 24 hours to experience anything before I started contracting. I told the lady that I was having contractions and she didn't believe me. Now the girls that was on there, now mind you, I'm at this point I'm like in and out of jail. So now the people know me in jail, from the
Yeah.
guards to the people that's in there. So I had people when I went in there, like when they see me, they like, oh my God, you big and pregnant. They rubbing my stomach. They like, and my one particular buddy that I ran into that was in there, I was telling her, I'm like, yo, I'm cramping. When I was getting I guess when loss prevention was on me in the process of me walking out of the store and they tried to stop me, they said, excuse me, I started running. So by me taking off running, I think I had done probably ran like a couple blocks. I think that extra size like hyped me up to start activating labor. I end up getting caught, going to jail, and then mind you, I told you I was still taking the Percocets. So now while I'm in there, I took perks like that morning, but I didn't take them all that day. So I think I started like withdrawing too. So now I got
Okay.
me like running, being overly active, big pregnant, and then like battling this addiction with the pills. I think that's what had me like really go into complete like cramping to the point where it broke my water in there. So now the girls called the guard and told them like I was going into labor, and they called the code, shut the jail down. I was telling the lady that, that's what's going on with me. And she said that wasn't happening. She said I was just withdrawing to put me in a cell. So they shut the jail down. Instead of her calling the ambulance, she put me in a cell. I was in the cell for second shift all the way to third shift. I was in there passing out. I was screaming to the top of my lungs. I was literally going into labor, real labor. And they wasn't trying to do anything for me. Third shift, when they came in and one of the guards seen me, he flicked the lights on. I had them passed out. He said I was like grunting, like I was in so much pain. And when he flicked on the light, he was like, Beller, like, what's good? You all right? I was like, no, I'm in labor. He like, labor. So now he going crazy. He calling the code. The nurses and stuff is running around. They like, oh my God, how long she been in here? They like asking all these questions. Mind you, I've been in there for so long that to the point where now I done dilated so much to when he finally flicked the light on and I got up and they tried to help me. I started going into actual labor. So they like, don't push. I'm like, she coming out. Like, so now they like, oh my God, running around. Like, what is we doing? They don't know to deliver a baby or anything or what's going on. That the right thing for them to do was to send me out. That's what they were supposed to do. But instead, I was abandoned inside of the cell. So now everybody is running around, running around. I had to take off my jumper, take off my boxers. I was in there with a sports bra on, butt naked, delivering my baby. I caught her in my hand, like in my full hand. Everybody was in like panic mode. The guards was running around. Nobody wanted to touch me because I was a liability. They was just like panicking, like, oh my God, oh my God. They couldn't believe it. So I ended up delivering her in my hand. By the time I got to the hospital, she was in my hand, and umbilical cord was still attached to both of us. And her birth certificate states that The jail is where she was born. That's the address on
Yeah,
there.
and that's sad, right? Because being that I experienced prison for people that never been in prison, going from second shift to third shift without any medical help, that's 8 hours right there.
Yeah.
Normal shifts start, I believe, even in the county jail at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's six
Yeah.
o'clock to 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock back to 6 o'clock in the morning. So that
Yeah.
basically time from 2 o'clock to 10 o'clock, you didn't get any medical help. And that's
Right.
crazy that you had to
And you
deliver your
want to
baby.
know something? They really abandon you in jail. They don't give a fuck about you. For anybody out there, like y'all in the streets and like just tampering with anything that could possibly take your freedom, push jeopardize it. They don't give a fuck about you
Uh,
in there. They
uh,
will let you die and they will write an
uh,
incident report up to cover their ass. And you would just be the next inmate. That's it. When I say everything that happens in there gets swept under the rug. Them
I
people,
agree.
if you get treated so bad, yo, and for me to be big and pregnant like that, even if I was withdrawing, that was every reason for them to call the ambulance to get a head start on them coming because is a distance too away from everything where the jail is actually at.
Yeah.
So it took them a while to even get to me. It was like, damn, like they really did not care at all.
That,
At
that,
all.
that's how it is. All right. So my last two questions I want to ask you: how long have you been from prison? And I'm
Mhm.
assuming you've been doing good. You ain't back in prison, nothing, right? And like you were just talking about, what advice can you give to young women to make sure that they don't go to prison? So that's the two things I want to ask you.
Okay, before I get into that, I want to speak it that I want to leave. I want to add this little part in it. After I had my daughter, I wasn't in prison. I was in jail. Jail and prison is two different
Two
things.
different things.
Two different things. I was going through all that from the first situation and the second situation in jail. After I had my daughter, 11 days after I had her, I had to go back to court. Remember, I told you I was fighting that
Yes.
charge, right? When
Yeah.
I went back to court, the judge found out that I had my daughter in jail. I was telling him, like, listen, I had my baby. He said, listen, I see you had the baby. He also said, I see you had her in jail too. You didn't learn anything. He said, instead of me sending you back to the county jail for a couple months, I'm going to send you to state correctional institution. And that man sent me to state prison for 1 year. I only seen my daughter for 11 days. And after 11 days, I had to do 1 year in prison away from her. That
Which is
shit changed
Clinton.
my whole life. It changed my whole life. I haven't been in trouble since. Prison is a different ball game. You in there with lifers, motherfuckers that got 60 years, 30 years, 5 years, 15 years, 1 year, 9 months. It's crazy. You in there with all kind of people with charges, baby charges, killing motherfuckers, all type of stuff. You in there. You and guess what? You don't know who is who. You everybody get treated the same unless you hear what's going on, like through whispers of somebody telling you. But my advice is keep your nose clean, man. Like stay out of the way where the system could get you jammed up and take away your freedom. When they say life is a gift, freedom is a privilege, and if you abuse any of them, your journey with life would be very complicated. That shit is real. So just like stay on a good track. Just as hard as it is to do bad, and as easy it is to do bad, it's just as easy it is to do good. Just
Nah,
keep your
nah.
nose clean.
That is a fact. It is so much easier. Like grandparents, parents always say, man, it's so easy to get in trouble, but it's so hard to get out of once you get there.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree. Capri, I definitely want to say thank you. I appreciate you for sharing your story. And I just wish you nothing but from the best that you continue to move forward in life, continue accomplishing things, and just sharing your story. I'm just praying that any young woman that's out there that can listen to this and hear it, that it would inspire them to change if they're going down the wrong path. So I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate it.
And I appreciate your platform. Thank you for giving me a chance to tell my story and to help anyone out there that need it. As of right now, I've been 8 years clean. My daughter is 8 years old. She running around, jumping, flipping, playing. She don't even know she went through all that. That's the crazy thing. And I just want to tell you, stay prayed up. God is good. God,
Gotta do it.
He brought me through that whole situation, carried me on His back, never
Yeah.
let me go,
Gotta
and I
do it.
appreciate it.
I'm a living testimony too. I just
Yeah.
walked out of a place with 41 years off my back, so I know gotta do it.
Wow.
But
Yes, you will.
I definitely appreciate you. Stay blessed and continue to move forward in life.